Welcome to The Next Chapter, a show about how to move your life forward and what comes next. I'm your host, Carrie Pena, co-founder of the Center for Positive Media. Hi, everyone. I'm Carrie Pena, and this is the Next Chapter podcast. With us here in studio at our Inspired Media Studios here in downtown Phoenix, one of my faves, Niki Woehler, my beautiful friend, and now nationally world famous artist, to talk about how you have started this next chapter in such a fabulous way.
Thank you for having me. I always love spending time with you.
Your story is such an inspiration. And one of the things I want to tell the audience that we want to talk about is, how do you find your wings and take flight, even if it's a next chapter in your life? I want to start by talking about your tattoos and what they mean.
Well, I have two. So the first one I ever got was this one, and it says, "Do what you love." And it's something that I've tried to teach my children and instill in them. Never do something for money. Do it because you love it. And when they say you'll never work a day in your life, it's actually true. It's really true. And I'm proud of all of them because they're all doing exactly what they love. And then my second tattoo that has to do with art is I have one on my ribs, and it says, "And she flew." And that's based on one of my very favorite poems. It's called "And They Flew." And it's really simple. It says, life said, "Come to the edge." And they said, "We can't, we're afraid." And life said, "Come to the edge." And they said, "We can't, we're afraid." And life said, "Come to the edge." And they came to the edge, and life pushed them, and they flew. And I think that that's I think that when you want to do something, get rid of the safety net. I think when you don't have the safety net, you can't fail. You won't allow yourself to fail. You'll take those extra steps. When you're building your business, even when you're getting down to your last dollars and it's terrifying to buy that new whatever you need to make that business go, spend the money, because it's that safety net and that cushion, I think, that kind of helps to keep us feeling a little more comfortable and not quite as adventurous.
So I want to let the audience know that you've built an incredible business. When I say that you're an artist, this is not a hobby. This is not you building out beautiful paintings that, you showcase. This is a major business that you have created. Mm-hmm. And art was not your background.
No, I hated it in school. I hated it in high school. I used to show up at art class and I'd wait till they took attendance, and then I'd ask to go to the ladies' room and never come back. Or I'd literally climb out the window.
What happened to Niki?
Yeah, right. Or I'd literally climb out the window in my Catholic schoolgirl kilt when the teacher wasn't looking. I hated art. I couldn't stand it. And it wasn't until, and I think it's because they wanted me to paint, fruit in bowls and birds and trees, and that just wasn't my thing. Once I learned that you can do it your way, and I didn't have to paint anything specific, then I fell in love with it.
Describe to the audience, for those who are listening and maybe not watching us, describe your style of art.
I've got two different styles, but I would say that both of them are similar in Mother Nature is my inspiration. And so all of my work has a very organic, very earthy feel to it. My resin work, it always looks like, people tell me it looks like geodes, or it looks like part of the earth has been split open. Although the new technique that I've just figured out, it looks like the San Juan kelp forest. So that's a whole new direction. And it was a huge leap for me to take. And then there's my canvas work, and it's always very textural, very organic, very you just want to touch it.
It's incredible, your work, and it's mostly modern, right? Would you describe it as modern?
Yeah, it's contemporary, abstract, and it's really just movement, color, play, feel. For me, I paint from feeling. So you can, if you understand my language, that's through color, you'll know what I was feeling when you looked at the art.
Your background is in marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And PR and, all the things, and you were really successful.
Yep.
Talk about when you had this feeling of, I'm going to lean into the art.
So it started just as something that I did for fun. It was a way that I kind of relaxed at the end of the day, that get rid of the stress of the agency world. And then one day, and I didn't think I was good enough to show my work to anybody. And I didn't want to hear that I wasn't good enough because it was just for me. So I didn't tell anybody. The only way you knew I painted is if you were invited into my home. And, most of the art on the walls was mine. But like I said, half the time I didn't sign it. And then one day, one of my clients caught me playing hooky from work. And she asked me, what I was doing. And I told her I was painting. And she said, honey, your walls, there's people for that. And I said, no, not my walls. I'm painting a painting. And one thing led to another. And she kind of bullied me into showing her my work. And she told me it was amazing. And then she commissioned me for 1, and then 2, and then 3. And at the end of the 3rd, she said, you're great at marketing. You're one of the best. But if you don't do this for a living, you're an idiot. And so driving home from her house that day, I was looking at the rather large check sitting on the passenger seat and thinking to myself, I just got paid to do something that I love. Okay, Niki, be brave, 20 seconds. Remember the line from that movie? You got to be brave for just 20 seconds. And so I decided that when I got home, I was going to pop up one of my paintings on Facebook and just say, okay, here's what this is my fun. And it sold within an hour. And I was like, huh?
Like the universe is telling you, go here.
Yep. And then so I thought, well, that was fun. I'm going to try one more. And so I snapped photos, popped it up on Facebook, and the same thing happened. And then so I looked up and I said, okay, you've got my attention now. So I'm going to do one more painting. And if the same thing happens, I will be an artist for a living. I'll shut down my agency. And I popped one more up. Same thing happened, and I made good on my promise. I shut down everything within 30 days, and I've been an artist ever since.
And this was how long ago?
13 years now.
So you were well into your career, established, in the marketing and PR
I had
world.
amazing clients. I had Vitamin Water, Smart Water, Cirque du Soleil. Like, I had amazing clients. I wasn't walking away from something I didn't love or that wasn't successful, but I didn't love it like I used to, and I started really young in the business. My mom was in the business. And so, she kind of brought me in and I loved it. But there came a time where I didn't love it anymore.
How did you overcome the feelings of fear that naturally, no matter how strong we are, they naturally arise of, wow, I'm really making a shift. When I built out my own media company after being successful on the news, and so many people would ask me, wow, you're leaving, you're in the top job. Why are you doing that? Something was pulling me into the entrepreneurial media space. I wanted to do more positive media. I was always thinking like, just the fear is not going to serve you.
No,
in those moments, I just like, what's the point of it?
Well, we're not here to be small. We're just not. We are here to live the biggest life that we can live. And I'm not going to say there weren't moments of absolute terror. Like I said, single mom of 3 and you're relying on a business that you have absolutely no experience in. I knew nothing about the art world. But I will also tell you that I think I've got an incredible connection with the universe and with my angels. And there would be times where I was saying to them, okay, listen, like I need your help right now because I have a mortgage to pay and 3 kids to feed. And if art doesn't sell really quickly, I'm going to have to go get a job. Yeah. I need one of those JOB things.
Yeah.
And literally within 3 days, 3 paintings would sell. And I'd be fine for the next few months and all the bills would be paid and I could just focus on the next step and the next painting and the next, what do I do next? And enjoying it at the same time, What
has been the hardest moment for you in this next chapter journey?
Oh, honestly, learning to trust myself still. Doesn't matter. It feels like it doesn't matter how much success you've had before, right? And I wonder if like musicians feel the same or authors feel the same. Did I just paint my last best?
Yeah.
Did I just, there's sometimes you have creative block. There was a 6-week period where I couldn't paint to save my life.
Yeah.
And it's terrifying, thinking, okay, now what? I mean, I'm so far out of the marketing world. I wouldn't know what to do. Like, now what?
Yeah.
So I think that those are the big fear moments. But I think the other big fear moments too are knowing that you've still got even bigger out there for you. And how do you get there? And that's a process, trusting that too,
How do you stay inspired? And how do you keep that faith that there is still the best is yet to come?
Well, I spend most of my mornings listening to things that inspire me and put me in that place.
Yeah. And you send me a lot of quotes, inspirational quotes, which I love.
I do. But they keep me in line.
Yeah. They
really, really do. Like even just driving over here, I was listening, and it keeps my brain in the space. I think I try, that feeling when you just feel like everything is clicking right and you feel like the goosebumps. I try to keep myself in that space and start my day in that space and then go paint from there or create from there or move through life from there.
You see, you don't want to live a small life.
No.
And I think every person deserves to feel that whatever you consider to be a big life, whatever that looks like for anyone, that it's always there. That's why I do this show.
Yeah.
The next chapter, right? Like nothing has to be like, okay, boom. Now I'm over here and I'm aging and I'm just going to sit in my house and not try anymore.
And I love that. I mean, I love that that's what you bring to everybody and show people. Like, you don't have to. You get, and what, I mean, gosh, there was somebody I was reading the other day and they started like a huge company and they were in their 50s when they started it.
I was reading that. You probably sent me that article.
I probably did.
Vera Wang was like started and it was shocking.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's no game that's just a young person's game except maybe a professional athlete, but other than that, like you can be anybody you want to be at any point. I always say, if you're doing something with the right intention, if you're doing it because you love it, because you feel it in your bones, it's going to work.
So the mental mindset tricks, just give people a few that you were mentioning, like you read, positive quotes, you look at things that inspire you. So as an artist, what are some of the other things you do to train your mind in terms of that mental toughness and that creativity?
Okay, you're going to laugh. Sometimes when I'm in a really bad space, I crank the music loud and I have a dance party of one.
Yeah, no, that does not surprise me at all.
Yeah, it'll be a dance party of one. Yeah. And I will dance myself into where I need to be.
Yep.
It works though. Yeah. I mean, it does. And if you can find that 8D music where it's got the binaural and you put your earbuds in and all of a sudden, like I put one in the other day and I started looking at the ceiling thinking that the music was actually coming from my speakers in the ceiling and not my earbuds. And I was doing one of these. I'm like, okay, I do have them in, right? But everything elevated in me. And so I think for me, I paint from feeling too. Like when I'm working with a commission client, that's my question to them. My big question, what do you want to feel when you look at this painting? And so I put myself in whatever feeling that is. So if they want energetic and exciting, then I listen to energetic and exciting music. I might go for, a walk up the mountain that morning. Might have 3 cups of coffee, not just one, but if they want something that's serene, then I might have a little, tea in the morning and sit by my pool and meditate and journal and listen to, just softer music. But for me, it's all a feeling, right? And I think the higher you can keep yourself vibrating, as long as it doesn't even have to be high, meaning like, dance party, but feeling good.
Yeah.
I think that just keeps things coming to you and it keeps doors opening and it brings you the right people.
That's right. Staying on a high vibration is, I live by that.
Yeah.
What would you want to tell your younger self? Because I know you've had some rough spots?
Yeah. First of all, I talk to my younger self a lot lately, and I thank her a lot. I would tell her, gosh, it's all going to be just great. Thank you for getting through everything that you got through. Thank you for creating this space. And then I also talk to my future self. And I say, thank you for having the courage. That's not the word I was going to use, but we're recording. Thank you for having the courage to do all of these amazing things, because look at the life you're living now. Yeah, I think I would just I think everybody's story is different, but everybody's going to have a different message to their past self.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, it's going to be just try and move from love as much as you can and get out of fear. Get out of your head, Walter. It's a bad neighborhood.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And for people who might be, listening, watching this and thinking, their light feels a little dim, it can happen to all of us,
For
right?
sure.
We ebb and flow in life. And if they're listening and watching you and thinking, my light feels a little dim right now, what would you say to them?
Look for the people who are the light. I think that we all have somebody in our life, whether we know them or we don't know them. Look for the positive, or go sit outside and listen to the birds. Like sit under, you know what? So a couple weeks ago, a hummingbird just flew at my window in my bathroom, and we were literally staring eye to eye. And I have kind of a special thing with hummingbirds, but I'd never seen a hummingbird there. And so we looked at each other for a little while, and then as soon as the hummingbird left, I got on Amazon and I ordered a hummingbird feeder. And it's one of those ones that suctions to the window. And I created this space that now every time I sit down at my makeup mirror and I turn my light on, the hummingbird comes down and drinks and looks at me. And then I put a little pot of flowers there. And I now have this beautiful space where I go to, and all I have to do if I want to see my hummingbird is turn the light on my makeup mirror and sit down. Within 2 to 3 minutes, he's there. But for me, that's one of my ways that I keep myself, even when I'm not feeling great about something. You have to find the thing that shuts your brain off and just allows you to be.
Yes, because there's a lot going on all the time for so many of us. It could put people in a dysregulated state.
For sure.
We can't operate at our highest when we're in a dysregulated state.
Right.
So what you're saying there with the hummingbirds, you're in a regulated state. You're in a state of calmness. And that allows you to be your highest and best.
Yeah. It's or I'll just go sit in the backyard and just listen to the birds. Just, and I think too, find the things that you're grateful for. And it could simply be you woke up this morning, that you live in a city where you're not being bombed, that your pillow was comfortable last night, that like sometimes you just have to start spouting off the things that you're grateful for, even if they're small. The fact that there was milk for your coffee this morning in the fridge. Little things, and you just start spouting them off, start writing them down. It's really hard to be in a bad mood when you find all the things that you're grateful for. I read something once, and it said, if you woke up in the morning and all you had left were the things that you gave thanks for before you went to bed, what would you give thanks for?
Yeah.
And it made my bedtime a whole lot longer because I've got to run through everything, right? Yeah. But what that does too is it makes you realize, just like if you woke up and what you didn't give thanks for wasn't there, it gives you this like different perspective of all the things we have to be grateful about that we might not think about or remember.
That's a really important mindset shift. And I listen to a lot of Gabby Bernstein, and she does these, she does all of these manifestation shows. And one of the things that she always talks about that she repeats to herself is, everything is working out for me.
Yep.
Everything is working out for me.
Yeah, it's for my highest good.
For my highest good.
Everything is working out for me for my highest good. Or I always say, you know what, the universe always has my back. Like one of the things I'm learning is, believe it or not, most of my life I've been a bit of a control freak. Shocking, right? But one of the things I'm learning right now is to let that go and to leave more room for magic. When somebody says to me, what are you going to be doing 5 years from now? My answer is, if I knew, then I'm not dreaming big enough.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not even going to, I just know it's going to be living my best life. I know it's going to be amazing. I know the universe has my back. And after that, I don't know. I maybe I'll be painting on, the deck of my boat in Portofino. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I don't want to limit myself
That's actually a good point. When people ask you, what does your 5-year plan look like? I'm like, good Lord, I don't know. I mean, I
don't know what next week's going to look like.
I'm just trying to roll with it.
Yeah.
And so with that said, how excited are you about your next chapter?
So excited. So excited. There's some really amazing things coming.
Can we say any of them?
Well, we can. So we can say some of them.
Okay, yeah.
There's a couple things coming. So one of the things that has actually kind of hurt me is, people will come into my studio and gallery and, a lot of people love the work, but they can't necessarily afford it. So, and that's always kind of broken my heart. So one of the things that I'm doing is going to be doing limited edition prints. But those are going to be just the really special paintings, meaning ones that I'm never going to sell. Mm-hmm. So I'm super excited about that because I think it expands and more people can have a piece of it. Yeah. There's possibly a bit of a home line coming out.
I know. There's so much news I wish I could share right now. But
we'll
just say that there's all amazing things that are huge.
Yeah.
That are huge things. And really, no one could deserve it more than you. You've put your heart and your soul into this.
Thank you.
And your talent is unrivaled.
Well,
and
thank you.
I just love you and support you. And thank you for sending me all the memes every day.
Thank you.
I wake up, I'm like, oh, there's Nick. She's got me on blast. I love it. And tell people where they can find out more about you.
Well, you can follow me on Instagram. It's Niki Woehler Artist. You can follow me on Facebook, although I'm not as good about posting on Facebook as I am on Instagram. And then I have a website, nikiwoehler.com. Or you can come on down to my studio and gallery, which is right on Main Street in Old Town.
Yeah. I love you.
I love you too. Thank you for having me. It's always wonderful spending time with you.
And thanks to all of you for watching and listening. This is the Next Chapter podcast. I'm Carrie Pena.